William, what do you take away from last night's game?
Yeah, I mean, it was a battle. I think they came up with more 50-50 pucks and one took over the game that way, and I think that's something we need to do better tomorrow.
Where do you feel your game's at?
Yeah, I think I mean, had a few chances to score last night. Couldn't score. I think we had a couple chances in front of that too, so just need to capitalize.
Do you guys have to be better against Matthew Tkachuk and his line?
Yeah, obviously they're a huge factor on their team, so got to be aware when they're out on the ice and try to make them play D-zone.
What's this mean to you? We haven't talked to you since the series got clinched to be in the second round with this group.
Yeah, obviously it's a great feeling winning the first round, but now our focus is here.
What do you think it means to Gio? He waited a long time to get to the second round as well.
Yeah, obviously huge. I mean, you battle for this your entire career to get a chance to keep playing. So I think we're all fired up about it, but that's now in the past, and we're focusing here in the moment right now.
What's that adjustment like when you're playing one team for 6 times in a short period of time and you have to quickly jump out to the next one?
Yeah, obviously it's a little adjustment. It's a quick turnaround. I mean, that's the way it is in the playoffs, so there's not much you can do about it.
Is there different things you kind of have to look for, different tendencies, and kind of like do a whole new playbook as opposed to just kind of like?
Yeah, obviously you try to look at what they're good at and stuff like that. But I mean, in the end, you got to focus on playing your game and I mean, be aware of what they do out there. But I mean, you got to focus on being the best at our game.
How have your skill guys adjusted to the physical hockey of the last few years and the last 2 playoff series especially? Have you guys sort of evolved that way?
I don't know. I haven't really thought too much about it. I mean, that's the kind of hockey that's being played. I mean, this time of year. So, yeah, hopefully we keep going and keep playing physical games.
You guys made a lot of changes at the trade deadline. What do you think the new guys have integrated so well? Because like sometimes it doesn't work for teams when
yeah, I just think that I mean, we have a great group or had a great group before the trade deadline, and I mean, we brought in guys that were I mean, unbelievable guys. So they just meshed really easily into the group. So I think that's probably one of the biggest factors.
Bobrovsky said he felt like he got lucky on that toe save he made on you there at the end. Like, what did you see on it?
Yeah, obviously great save. I mean, in tight. But yeah, I wish I could have put it by him. But I mean, it was a nice save.
You haven't had the puck luck, it feels like, since the first 2 games. The goals go in. Like, how do you deal with that? Because I know you want to produce it this time of year.
Yeah, obviously not too worried. I mean, I've had chances to score, so I mean, just as long as the chances are there, the stuff, the goals and stuff will come.
Any adjustments on the power play moving forward? I know you guys had a lot of possession.
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay, and what do you make of the way the city's reacting to this? Because the fans have been waiting even longer than you guys.
Yeah, obviously, I mean, the city's buzzing, and I mean, we feel the same way. Hopefully get back at it on the right side tomorrow.
Austin, what sort of adjustments can you guys make coming off last night?
I think most of it's just kind of effort-based and just urgency and those 50-50 battles. I think were a big thing for us. So it's just resetting and coming out there with the mindset that, you know, we just got to be harder to play against.
What's the biggest challenge you're seeing with that Tkachuk line right now?
Yeah, they're really good at you know, below the dots and carrying play down there, and I think we just got to do a better job closing and limiting their time and space.
Did you like what you guys were able to generate? Is it just by and large just finding a way to shoot it in the net this time?
Yeah, I think you know, I thought we generated some good looks. 5-on-5 power play. I thought we had some good chances there, and obviously you'd like to see those go in. And I think it's just about executing and you know, a bounce here or the other way, and you know, maybe a couple you know, mistakes that we made that, you know, we clean up and it's a different outcome. But obviously you know, we made those mistakes and we didn't execute on some of the chances that we had, and the result was what it was. But you know, I definitely think that we can improve in a lot of areas, and I think it just starts with our work effort.
You expected they'd be physical and come out hitting. How do you think you guys have adjusted to that?
Yeah, I mean, it's you know, typically how it is, and so you got to play through that. You know, obviously when they go out of the way to chase contact, just trying to move the puck and make plays to generate space and you know, try to get them kind of back on their heels a little bit.
You've seen Matthew Tkachuk's game for a long time. How have you seen it mature, maybe in the last couple of years?
I mean, I think he's just always improves his game. And I think as you get older and more experience, obviously you learn a lot and you just continue to grow as a player. And his game's always been how he plays. He plays with a lot of intensity. Plays on the edge a lot. He's always in front of the net. He's a heavy body down low, and he's obviously a very effective player. And I think you got to respect that, but at the same time, not respect that too much, and make it a little bit harder on him out there.
Did you see that ceiling of the program, like when you guys were there?
Yeah, I mean, he was always a really good player. He always put up really good numbers and produced, and so it's not really a big surprise.
Get your thoughts on Matthew's creativity, his ability to get so many things done in the tight game that is the NHL playoffs.
Yeah, like I said, I mean, he's an effective player. It's not just the production-wise, but his physicality. He's the heart and soul, I think, of that team, and so.
Sorry, no, I meant Knives.
Oh, okay. Sorry, you guys are throwing a lot of Matthews at me. Yeah.
His creativity and his ability to get things done in the tight playoff.
Yeah, I mean, he's got a lot of confidence, which is great. He's competitive, he's strong, obviously he's big, and I think he's just shown that he's came in here and just worked, put his head down and worked, and hasn't shied away or try to dip his toe in the water. I think he's just come in and try to play his game, and he's having fun doing it. So I think he's been playing really well for us.
The good part of this playoffs, obviously, is that some of the comebacks you've had in these games. But does it take a toll playing from behind as much as you have right after night?
Yeah, I mean, obviously you always want to start better. I think that's been a bit of an issue for our team, and in the last round, and then obviously last night as well, is just these starts. And I think, like you said, it's hard to dig yourself out of holes sometimes, especially this time of year when things are so tight. And I think that just coming out with more urgency and more pace to start games, and not having to climb out of a hole early will obviously benefit us. So.
Matthew Knies was saying that it was fitting that you set him up for his first NHL goal. Like, what was that moment like? How did you see it develop for you?
Oh, it was great. I mean, it was a really nice play by him to jump into some space, and I just try to get him the puck there, the split second of time that he had, and then he obviously made a great second effort to stay with it, and it was a big goal for us. So I'm happy for him. Obviously, he's been playing really well for us. He's had a lot of really good opportunities. It's always good to see that first one go in and go from there.
William Nylander scores 40 goals in the regular season. He hasn't seen a puck going here in the last little bit. What's your sense of where he's at?
I mean, he's fine. I think Willie's always going to, that stuff doesn't really waver for him. He's always going to come in and play his game, and he's going to shoot the puck. He's going to make plays, and you just need to see one go in sometimes to kind of get a hold of it back. But I think when he's moving his feet and attacking, one-on-one situations, obviously he's extremely dynamic. So, I don't think anybody's really too worried about him.
Mitch gets nominated for the Selkie for the first time. He's always been pretty good defensive player. But where have you seen him kind of elevate to where now he's considered one of those guys?
Yeah, I mean, I just think the work that he does, obviously 5-on-5 speaks for itself, and power play, but obviously the penalty kill is a big key, a big piece for him, and he's just so good with his stick and anticipating plays and breaking up passes and just getting little ticks on pucks and just kind of disrupting the opposition, and I think it's very fitting. I mean, obviously he's an amazing player offensively, but defensively he's really coming to his own, especially the last couple of years, and it's very well deserved.
You were trade deadline acquisition at this time last year. Why do you think that this group has been so welcoming, or how it's meshed so well with the guys this time around as well?
Well, I think, I mean, all veteran guys who've been in the league, we know them well, and I think just guys playing in different roles and fitting in really well has gone a long way with our group. It's. I find, when you've played against guys for a long time, you know exactly their tendencies and who they are, and it's easy to fit in.
Where do you feel like your game's at? Sheldon mentioned you and Justin had a bit of a tough time in the first
Yeah, no, just trying to get better every game. I think, obviously for me, it's just don't try not to overthink things, but try not to be on the ice for goals against. I think when you're on for goals against, it can get to you sometimes, but just got to play quick, play fast, and get through the forecheck as well as you can.
Even for you as a veteran, you still kind of feel that when the puck goes in.
Well, I think for everyone, you just don't want to you got to eliminate that. That's the bottom line. You got to be better. You can't be on the ice for goals against, and every time you are, I think it's on you as an individual to sort of critique what you could have done better on that shift or that play, and I do that all the time. So just get better. I think as the playoffs goes on, it gets harder and harder, and teams are more dialed. So you got to make sure as an individual you get better and better as well.
What's this mean to you? Toronto guy, you've been part of a team that kind of snaps the 19-year curse, and I imagine you're sensing it in the city. Like, what's this all like?
Yeah, no, there's a ton of excitement. We could sense that for sure. I think in the city and in our building last night, it was great. So just, it's a big moment, but for us, honestly, it's looking forward and trying to keep building on it and get wins and get through this next round.
William scores 40 in the regular season. He hasn't seen the puck go in here of late. What's your suggestion with that?
Just keep shooting. He's still making things happen and being dynamic and using his feet. Using his feet, earning pucks and creating space and looks. That's when you know when he's got good habits building, and you do enough of that, he's too good not to eventually have those find the net.
Offensively, John, do you guys feel that you generated enough last night, and it's more just a case of executing and finding a way to shoot it?
For sure, I think you want to capitalize on your opportunities and the looks that you have. I think we didn't get rewarded on the power play, but I thought there was a lot of good habits and a lot of good things that we built there. So it's continuing to stay with that, and even though you feel good about the opportunities or the momentum you built, obviously we got to find a way to up it even to another level. So whether that's just continuing to fight and earn ice, in the slot or in and around the net and challenging our goalie and making it difficult on him, earning second and third opportunities, things of those nature. So it's a little bit of capitalizing and executing and then continuing to find another level to continue to make it more difficult and just finding more opportunities.
What's different about their defense versus the one you saw
I don't think there's maybe a whole lot of difference. I think maybe just certain things that they do as a team, the way they exit their zone or the way they play things structurally. It's not a whole lot of difference. Obviously just certain different players, different tendencies. They have D that really love to activate and get into the rush, and we saw that with Tampa as well. So I wouldn't say anything too much in particular that stands out other than that they're obviously firing on all cylinders and playing well, and we have to make it difficult on them, and the best way to do that is to play on their half of the ice.
For William off the score sheet, I'm just curious, what's your sense of where he's at right now? Is there anything you can do to have some of those chances going?
No, just remain confident. He's like a lot of scorers. As I've said many times, they're streaky. You just got to stay with it, keep getting the chances, keep attacking the net, shoot with authority, and it'll go in.
You mentioned last night that you like the results when you change the lines up a little bit. Is that going to be a constant thing, do you think, to maximize your skill and kind of get away from there?
Well, I mean, we'll see. You hope you can find some lines that are going to work with the matchups and with the flow of the game. I didn't feel we got there yesterday in the first period. Second period was definitely better. Third period, I was we're pressing there. We're trying to tie the game, but I thought Florida did a good job not giving us a lot. So it was tougher there. But yeah, we'd like to find some rhythm for sure. We're trying to find rhythm last series too. We never quite did. So, like we maybe saw us through some of the regular season, maybe we're better off with less consistency and more flow and being less predictable and having the players just go out and play. So, we're going to manage all that as the series goes. But, as we go into tomorrow, we'd like to find some lines that are ready for an opportunity to respond.
When things did start to go a bit better against that Tkachuk line, what did you like? What were you seeing that was effective against them?
Well, you got to get them on their half of the ice. I mean, they spending time in the offensive zone and winning pucks back and making it hard for you to get out of your end and then attacking your net. I mean, they get momentum, they get life, they get energy. It really fuels the rest of their team's game. We started to spend way more time on their half of the ice in the second period and
all of a sudden, all offensive players aren't going to be as good. So that's the challenge, but not easy. Those guys were really good last night, and we allowed them to be, even better than what we would have had expected.
Power play is important all the time, but when a team's that aggressive and that, especially on the forecheck, it's important to connect so that maybe it holds them back, so they'll be afraid of your man advantage unit.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I don't know how much of that was related to the forecheck. Obviously, they got the one contact penalty, but power play needs to come through. I mean, you get 2 opportunities to score early in the game like we did. That's, you could look at it. It's a big difference in the game. Not only because we're down a goal going into the third period, but you're chasing the game all game. We never led, versus us getting off to a start early and kind of everything sort of settles in from there. And because we were chasing it, it's harder to manage their best players the way that we needed to when you're also trying to score and get an edge offensively, and you're trying to take advantage of their fourth line when they go out and get your best players against them, and that makes it a little bit harder to check their top people. So those are all the kind of things that you're trying to manage that make it harder when you don't have the lead. So power play had a chance to do that yesterday, and the process was quite good. Just didn't capitalize. So you need to find a way to get that in.
Do you see something going back through the tape on the power play specifically that you'd like to see improved for the next game? Or?
We had some really good looks. They make it challenging. It's just there's a real strong trend in the league. Last season it started. You had about a third of the league that is defending with this really passive diamond, and now it's about half the league and approaching 2/3 of the league, and it presents some challenges. You got to find a way to get things into the net differently. But I thought we did enough of that last night to certainly get rewarded with 1 goal, but it didn't happen. So you got to solve the penalty kill and you got to solve the goaltender. But the process was good. We entered really well. We had lots of time in the zone. Confident that if that process continues, that it'll go in.
Did you feel you made it difficult enough on Bobrovsky to see the puck?
At times we could do better. We looked at that here today. It's like I said last night, I thought the game and the type of shots that we generated were different, than what we had in the previous series. So it was a little bit more challenging that way because there's a lot more rush chances. There's a lot more broken type plays, less set offensive zone sequencing with the goal standing on the goaltender. So it seemed that way that we didn't do enough of it, but I think there was reasons to it. I don't think it had as much to do with our lack of commitment to doing it, but certainly it's important, for that to happen, especially as the goaltenders, come off of, not just how he played last series, but how he played last night. He's going to be a confident guy, so you're going to have to get to him.
Are you inclined to keep Mitch and Austin together?
Yeah, looking at obviously how we deal with the matchups is part of it. So we spent the morning here more so going through the video and talking through that as a staff, and we've kind of moved on to some of the debates about the lines and stuff, and get some time to sort through that. I'll probably go back and forth a bunch before tomorrow.
With the power play, is there a right time to get Nylander back with the guys in the top unit, or is it just a kind of a feel?
Well, we went to that in Game 6 out in Tampa. Let's try to give a different look at that time, and didn't like it. Didn't go well for us, and went back to a different look. One of the things that I have really liked with Willie being on the second group is that he comes out fresh at about a minute or so, depending what's happening in the power play. He's the first guy to come over the boards no matter who comes off, so he comes out fresh. While we still have some of our first units still out there, most of our first units still out there, so you got him with lots of jump that comes out. And I thought in the last series, we got a lot more out of the second group than we have maybe all season. So there's some positive to that, not only for Willie to take charge when he's out there without those guys, but when he comes out fresh, just when momentum is sort of dying on our power play, he comes out. I think it changes the dynamic a bit. And again, last night, we had some really good chances late in the power play, which we haven't had that most of the season. So I think that's an important factor for us as well.
It's a league-wide trend that the road teams are doing well, including you guys, but at home, is it getting frustrating that another one get away last night?
Yeah, it is. It's kind I said, it is a league-wide trend, but that doesn't make you feel any better about it. You know, you're still trying to get it right here. It should be a tough place for teams to play, and we should be better. We should have more life and more energy, all these kind of things, and we just haven't had that. But it's certainly a topic around here, you know, in terms of handling that better. No matter where we're playing, you should be able to play the same. I thought we got off to a fine start last night. Like I said, we had some pace, got out of our zone well. We earned the power plays us through that process, and had a chance to take a hold of the game and didn't, and then sort of faded from there. So at home, you should never fade, you know, and that's the thing that's happened for us. So we've got to fix that, and no better time to do it than tomorrow.